You have tuned into Bosa. We're in the right place. You want to be inspired to be what? Let me hear you say it. Empowered. I am your host, Crystal Boyd. What a pleasure it is to be here. And you know this, man. Because guess what? It don't get tired over here. I'm a little bit like I don't get tired. That's right. I'm feeling that. And so today's topic, yeah, I can tell you're on the edge of your seat. Yeah, I got it for you. How do you wait? It's a little different. Yeah, because normally I don't have the topic like this, but I did that for good reason because we're going to talk about waiting, waiting. And guess what? Sometimes when that's even said, somebody doesn't even like hearing the word wait because wait means like it's some time about to pass by and who knows how much time? Who knows? We don't know, but that's okay. It sure is. I'm going to tell you why. Because waiting certainly doesn't mean that whatever that you're waiting for is not going to come to pass. It just means that you have to wait. Some things are being prepared. Some things you have to wait your turn. Some things you just got to wait on the delivery. It's so many reasons why we may have to wait. And I've been one that I wanted whatever it is, probably instantaneous, and maybe didn't even want to go through the results of, that. And sometimes you just not wait, like you actually have to do some things while you're waiting. And wanting that to even be like a little sped up. So, what I'd say about waiting, know what you're waiting for. And no, but like, no, like through your heart of hearts. Because time is a very precious thing. It is. And sometimes we can wait in vain for some things. I remember one time I ordered some food and I ordered, like, I don't know, I went there to the location that was nearest. That's what it was. But instead, I had a favorite location and I didn't look at it, I didn't pay attention. So I go pick up or trying to pick up my food, and it's not at this location. It's at the other location, which is not so far. Like I think they were maybe 2 miles apart. But the thing is, I showed up there and I could have been waiting like in vain and just sat there and wait for them to call my name, all that good stuff. But I didn't hesitate. I went right up and I went to see like some food ready. So I say all that in an example to say sometime we need to know all the time, we need to know why we're waiting. We now need to know the exact reason. Are we in the right place to be waiting? Sometimes it's not even opportune to wait. So, some things are just an urgent matter. Yeah. So that's first and foremost because we don't want people waiting in vain in there. And I say the importance of talking to God about the matter because if I know that I'm in God's waiting room, I can be a little bit more patient. Well, this whole big world should be God's waiting room, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes we just in the wrong place. It doesn't mean it's any good, and that's just the nature. I pray that doesn't happen, And if it happened, it doesn't happen again. And for the future of those, we're trying to be on the proactive side. So we're just trying to examine how we can wait in the ideal way. So one, knowing that God has you waiting. And I believe if we pray, God will make things clear to you. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. So that's numero uno. I'd say a follow-up on that is gonna be humility. Being able to be humble about the wait. Like, okay, I have what I have, right now, and being content and thankful and humble in that circumstance is just, I think humbleness is one of those things that you're gonna have to have. Humility. Yeah. And I would wanted to make sure I was using that in the right context. So I think humility has something to do with waiting for sure and being able to wait. But to me, looking at this definition and is free from pride or arrogance. And I think you can't be above yourself on that. Everybody's gonna have to wait. Everybody had to wait their turn for something, and that's okay. But just being humble about it, having that sense of humility and peace. Oh, yeah. Are you a peaceful person that's waiting? Like you're not trying to stir up any ruckus about it and oh, woe is me type of attitude. Yeah, because all of that means something. Like if we're truly at peace and trusting God with the process while we're waiting, I believe we're able to have some peace that surpasses understanding. And yes, there may be some doubts that come across your mind. But if God has shown you the vision, He's talked to you about it, and only you know. Sometimes God just talks just to you, not to your neighbor, not to your sister, your brother, your mother, your spouse. Sometimes He's speaking just to you about a situation. And we have to have peace within how He's communicating with us and what He's showing us and knowing that it'll come to pass. And I'm one of those people, I have to preach to myself because time will start ticking and I'll start waiting and I'll start debating. And I had to tell myself, Crystal, do not doubt in the dark what God showed you in light. And what is this saying? Like, God can tell you yes yesterday, but because 180 days, 780 days have passed, and now what? Are you still going to believe? It could very well be that type of situation. Just because time is ticking doesn't mean that God didn't hear you, doesn't mean that He's not coming through. And God knows the nature of what it is that is required. Okay. So if you need a ride to work on Monday and your car breaks down, that ain't going to be 3 years. But there are some situations that requires you to wait a little bit longer. You say, God, I want to be a person of wealth. Well, guess what? That ain't overnight. I have to say it is not overnight. And so you can't be impatient with the progress and pull up to the bank and do the unthinkable because now you messed up the whole equation when God was really just trying to build your character along the way. You'll be surprised what is needed for what we're asking for. And time passing helps us be prepared for those things. So the next part that I want to discuss in how we wait is being useful. And being useful is another way of just saying being prepared. Like the saying says, I ain't gotta get ready. You ain't gotta get ready if you stay ready. Right? I like this because what is that implying? That, you should always be in a process of being the best version of you, showing up and being exactly that. That's useful. So, say for instance, someone's praying to be in school. You want to graduate. You may have to take some classes to bring up your skills to be ready. Okay. Yeah, because you don't go straight to law school. You don't go straight to doctor school. So guess what? You got to get the high school diploma. Then you get, sometimes people go the associate's degree route. Sometimes people go and get you do have to get your bachelor's and all that to reach the master's or advanced level or even doctorates. But you see that it's graduated, right? Somebody's asking to be a mother. Do you just have the baby? No, no, no. That's a preparation. Okay. The dating and having the marriage, that's part of the process. God asked you to even be a wife. Guess what? A husband. He is requiring you to work on yourself ahead of time. Now, being married and having a ring on our finger doesn't make us necessarily a quality spouse. But I say the time in between the getting prepared, making use of our time and being useful helps us to, when we're in those positions, we hold them. And it's not a fly by night situation, nor does it crumble, because we're able to maintain the relationships, the positions that he's blessed us with. How great is that? So hopefully this resonates with you. So yes, humility is a part of waiting in the right way. Peace is a part of waiting in the right way. And being useful is part of waiting the right way. My call to action is obviously think about how you wait. And if you're not waiting patiently overall, then see how you can wait patiently. I believe it. And you may be in a season of doubt where you prayed for some things that's just so delayed. But delayed, as they say, it does not mean denied. Okay? Don't let that waiting part confuse you. Don't let it mislead you. If God said a thing to you, then trust that He will allow that to come to pass in His time. And if by chance that doesn't come to pass, He has something greater and even better in store. If you haven't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment. We're even open to suggestions. You can submit those at info@fosa.company. We're still revamping that website, but by golly, it's going to be up. And when it does, just keep this handy. www.fosa.company. All the inspirational apparel that can leave you inspired and empowered. And you know what I'm talking about. You're going to enjoy it so much. And until next time, it's sure been a pleasure.